United Kingdom and Europe Union relations. During the European Summit held at Blenheim Palace in the United Kingdom, key discussions focused on support for Ukraine and relations between the European Union and the United Kingdom. This was the first such meeting after the new UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, took office. Starmer aims to reset relations with the European Union following the tumultuous years of Brexit. Prime Minister Starmer emphasised that while the UK is no longer part of the European Union, it remains an integral part of Europe. During the summit, he focused on strengthening cooperation in security and countering illegal migration. The speeches also highlighted a strong need for unity in Europe, particularly in the context of Russian aggression against Ukraine, which was strongly emphasised by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who was one of the key participants. This summit also aimed to strengthen relations between the UK and the rest of Europe, as well as to set new directions for cooperation in the face of growing global challenges, including possible changes in United States policy that may affect security on the continent. Wildfires in Albania. Albania is battling severe wildfires under the supervision of the European Union Civil Protection Mechanism. Fires exacerbated by extreme heat and dry conditions have prompted a coordinated response across Europe, including both firefighting and safety measures. The European Union has sent 2 firefighting planes from Italy, a helicopter from France, another helicopter from Serbia, and ground teams. EU agricultural trade data. The latest data on agricultural trade in the European Union shows significant changes in the 2024 to 2025 season. Soybean imports fell by 20%, reaching 1.21 million tons by August 11, which may affect the feed sector. On the other hand, rapeseed imports increased by 55%, responding to the growing demand for vegetable oils and biofuels. These changes in trade may significantly impact trade policy and food security in the European Union, especially in the context of global agricultural challenges. Euroasia Interconnector project. The decision to build an undersea power cable connecting Greece, Cyprus, and Israel, known as the Euroasia Interconnector, is expected to be made next month. This project, valued at nearly €2 billion and partially funded by the European Union, is crucial for increasing energy independence in the region, especially for Cyprus, which is the last EU state not connected energetically to the rest of Europe. The cable construction involves laying over 1,200 kilometers of high-voltage submarine line with a capacity of 1,000 to 2,000 megawatts. This project aims to end the energy isolation of Cyprus and Israel while enabling the transmission of green energy to Europe. It is also significant for the European Union's long-term goals of transitioning to renewable energy sources and reducing CO2 emissions. The cable will connect the energy systems of these 3 countries, not only increasing energy security but also enabling more efficient use of renewable energy sources in the region. The project is considered one of the largest in the region. There are no larger undertakings of this type in the world, and its completion is expected in 2029. A decision is to be made in August on whether the construction costs will be partially covered by consumers in Cyprus, which is causing some controversy. Nevertheless, if the project is implemented, it is expected to significantly reduce energy costs for end users in the region. This investment also has enormous geopolitical significance, strengthening regional cooperation and stability in the Mediterranean basin. Qatar Gate scandals. Recently revealed information related to Qatar Gate has once again shaken public opinion in the European Union. The scandal, which erupted in December 2022, concerns the systematic bribery of members of the European Parliament by countries such as Qatar, Morocco, and others. The latest reports indicate that individuals involved in the scandal, including former Italian MEP Pier Antonio Panzeri and parliamentary assistant Francesco Giorgio, jointly conducted a wide-ranging operation aimed at influencing European Parliament decisions in exchange for bribes. A key element in the case is a mysterious spreadsheet that contained detailed information on lobbying activities, including over 300 entries regarding attempts to influence European Union policy on behalf of Qatar, Morocco, and other countries. The newly revealed evidence points to manipulation during key debates in the European Parliament, including an attempt to soften criticism of Qatar regarding migrant working conditions before the 2022 FIFA World Cup. The case became even more controversial after the release of a recording in which the chief investigator in the case, Seferino Alvarez Rodriguez, questions the credibility of key witnesses and accuses the Belgian judiciary of political bias. German economic challenges, export difficulties, and the effects of the war in Ukraine continue to impact the German economy. Inflation remains high, and companies are struggling with rising energy and raw material costs. This situation not only burdens the German economy but also puts pressure on the entire Eurozone, including the monetary policy of the European Central Bank. Military service for farmers in Poland. In Poland, the topic of drafting farmers for military service is raising controversies, mainly due to the specific nature of agricultural work, which is seasonal and intensive. According to Polish regulations, farmers, like other citizens, can be called for mandatory military exercises. Recently, the Polish Ministry of National Defense has been taking steps to adapt these regulations to the realities of farmers' work. At the request of the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Defense decided to postpone the dates of military exercises. Initially, farmers were planned to be called up in the summer season, during harvest time, which met with strong opposition. As a result, military exercises have been moved to the autumn-winter period when the intensity of fieldwork is lower. The aim of this move is to minimize the impact of military service on agricultural production and avoid disruptions to farmers' activities. However, not all farmers will be exempt from the obligation to participate throughout the year. The exemptions mainly apply to those who have already undergone military training, taken the oath, and received a mobilization assignment. The Ministry of Defense also notes that exercises can vary in nature, from one-day sessions to longer ones lasting up to 30 days, with the possibility of spreading them throughout the year. Despite these attempts to adjust the regulations, many Polish farmers and agricultural organizations continue to express concerns. They believe that calling them for military exercises, even outside the season, can lead to serious problems on farms, especially those involved in animal husbandry. For this reason, agricultural chambers in Poland are calling for changes in the law that would allow for the complete exemption of farmers from mandatory military exercises. The current actions of the Ministry of Defense, although a step in the right direction, do not solve all the problems associated with drafting farmers into the military. This topic continues to stir up strong emotions in Poland, and it seems that further legislative actions will be necessary to fully take into account the specifics of farmers' work and secure the country's crucial agricultural sector. Impact of Sine Group's collapse on European real estate market. The collapse of Sine Group in 2023 caused significant turbulence in the European real estate market, which continues to resonate in 2024. The company's bankruptcy announcement forced the suspension or sale of its projects, often at significantly reduced prices. This event had a direct impact on market dynamics in the current year, particularly in the context of financing availability. Banks that previously financed Sine's projects have become more cautious in lending, affecting financing possibilities for other developers. As a result, many investors and development companies are encountering difficulties in obtaining funds for new ventures. In 2024, the decline in property values resulting from the sale of Sine's assets is affecting the overall valuation of commercial real estate in Europe. This depreciation may lead to further market instability, especially in Germany and Austria, where Sine's activities were particularly intense. It is expected that these effects will have long-lasting consequences, influencing strategic investment decisions and risk management across the entire real estate sector in Europe. This situation is predicted to require special attention from investors and property managers in the coming years. UK immigration regulations and housing market. The United Kingdom plans to introduce new immigration regulations that are causing much controversy. These changes may have an impact on the rental housing market, especially in the context of growing demand from new residents. The new regulations stipulate that landlords will have to disclose more detailed information about tenants. Such actions may lead to the marginalization of lower-income individuals and migrants. This is raising objections from various social organizations and lawyers who fear that access to housing will become more difficult. Countries neighboring Ukraine, such as Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary, are experiencing a strong economic impact related to the influx of refugees. The increase in demand for rental housing, especially in large cities, has led to a significant rise in prices, negatively affecting housing availability for local residents. This situation is particularly difficult in Poland, where large concentrations of refugees are putting pressure on the real estate market, leading to increased housing costs. Farmers' protests in EU countries, in several European Union countries, such as the Netherlands and Germany, large-scale farmer protests are taking place against climate policy. Farmers are opposing plans to reduce nitrogen emissions, arguing that such regulations could lead to the closure of many farms, threatening food security and economic stability in the region. These protests are an expression of broader discontent with climate policy, which many farmers believe does not take into account the economic and social realities in rural areas. Overtourism in European cities. The issue of overtourism in popular European destinations like Venice and Barcelona continues to be a significant challenge for local authorities and residents. Here's an expanded look at the situation. The world's most iconic tourist destinations has implemented stricter measures to manage the influx of visitors. The city has introduced limits on the number of tourists allowed to enter the historic center each day. A controversial day trip tax is being implemented for visitors who don't stay overnight. Tourists may need to book their visit in advance, especially during peak seasons. These measures aim to preserve Venice's fragile ecosystem and improve the quality of life for local residents. However, they've sparked debate among many worry about potential loss of income due to reduced tourist numbers. They argue these steps are necessary to protect the city's cultural heritage and infrastructure. Concerns have been raised about the potential impact on Italy's tourism sector as a whole. Barcelona's, another city grappling with overtourism, faces similar challenges. Neighborhood impact. Local communities are increasingly vocal about issues such as noise pollution, especially in residential areas with high concentrations of short-term rentals, rising costs of living, particularly in housing. As more properties are converted to tourist accommodations, overcrowding in public spaces and on public transportation. The high volume of tourists contributes to increased waste generation and strain on waste management systems, higher water and energy consumption, air pollution from increased traffic and cruise ships. There are growing fears about the loss of local character and traditions as businesses cater primarily to tourist demands. While tourism is a crucial part of Barcelona's economy, there's a push for diversification to reduce over-reliance on this sector. Balancing act for European cities. The challenges faced by Venice and Barcelona are emblematic of a wider issue affecting many European cities. Local governments are trying to strike a balance between maintaining a thriving tourism industry that brings economic benefits, preserving cultural heritage and local way of life, ensuring sustainability and managing environmental impact, improving quality of life for residents. Some strategies being considered or implemented across various cities include promoting off-season tourism to spread visitor numbers throughout the year, encouraging tourists to explore less visited neighborhoods and attractions, implementing stricter regulations on short-term rentals, investing in infrastructure to better manage tourist flows, developing sustainable tourism initiatives that benefit both visitors and local communities. As European cities continue to grapple with these issues, the solutions they develop may serve as models for other popular tourist destinations worldwide facing similar challenges of balancing tourism, preservation, and local quality of life. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more updates. Your support means a lot to us.